Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome into On Deck. Exciting day for you Braves fans, for me too. It's going to be a very exciting day. Obviously, the Braves are now facing the Dodgers. It's finally here, the NLCS. They released their roster today, which is what I expected them to do. We're going to go through that in just a second. Going to tell you kind of what I think about the roster. Do I think that there should have been something else that have happened? Things like that. What I think will happen tonight and just what I think will happen overall in this series. So, first of all, for the Dodgers, Walker Buehler will be taking the mound. And that is interesting for a few reasons. One, Walker Buehler is similar to Max Fried in a way because he has been the guy for the past couple of years, the guy that we've all known about. Dodgers fans have known about him, and he's grown into the ace or an ace for the Dodgers. So he does have some history that I'm sure we all know about. I mentioned this in the last stream. Of course, Ronald Acuña took him deep in the last time the Dodgers took on the Braves in the postseason. That was in 2018. That was an interesting one. He took him deep for a grand slam. Two rookies against each other, both for the Rookie of the Year in the Rookie of the Year race. And Ronald Acuña ended up winning that award. And just a coincidence, the same about a month earlier, took him deep for a grand slam in the postseason. So there is some history there. It will be interesting to see what Ronald Acuña does in his first at bat. Obviously, that will be the first batter Walker Buehler faces. So that'll be interesting. So hopefully the Braves can get out to a win tonight. Game one is, of course, always a very big deal in any postseason series. I'm going to get to you guys in a minute. Going to get to those comments. But first, go ahead and like this video so we can get it to as many Braves fans as possible. Obviously, today's a very big deal. Want to get to as many Braves fans as we can. I got a lot planned this week that I want you guys to see. So make sure to find some friends to send this to and do that for me. So, again, Max Fried will take the mound. The Dodgers have not seen a lot of Max Fried. We have seen Walker Buehler a time or two. We know what to expect out of him. He does pitch with some high velocity, but that is good for the Braves. They are one of the best teams at hitting fastballs. So that is a very good thing for the Braves. So that is something to look for. Marcell Ozuna specifically. Freddie Freeman came out today. That was an interesting conversation. He said he likes our chances, and the Braves like their chances in the general, and that is always a good thing to hear. Of course they do, right? Why wouldn't they? I think that if a team should be fearful in this series, it is the Dodgers, because if the Braves, hypothetically, if the Braves were to lose this series, the Dodgers are the ones that, or if the Braves were to win this series, the Dodgers were the ones to blow it there. It wouldn't be Atlanta. Atlanta would beat expectations in beating the Dodgers. And if they can beat the Dodgers, I think they can beat anyone on that American League side. I truly do. So let's go through the roster real quick, and then we'll get into you guys' questions moving forward. So if you want to ask me something, go ahead and ask me so I can kind of scroll down with you guys. But go ahead and do that for me, okay? All right, so the NLCS roster today. All right, so pitchers, nothing changed on this roster. I thought they might add a couple more pitchers. They did not. They stuck with what they had. And, the way I view it is if it's not broke, don't fix it. I did think that they may, if they were to do one move, I did think that they may drop Pablo Sandoval and bring up another pitcher. I actually had a couple conversations with a couple fans about this specifically. The reason I think it didn't happen is because, if you bring up another pitcher, you might not bring up anybody that's better than anybody you have, right? You're not going to add somebody, that would contribute necessarily. So maybe keeping Pablo Sandoval on the roster is a good thing. Mentor those young guys, keep their heads in the game. Like I said before, you don't know what kind of influence that guy's having. Not to say that there's anything wrong with bringing another pitcher in, because I would have been for that too. But those guys are on the taxi squad. I saw that question down there, Stellar. Those guys are on the taxi squad. So if somebody was to get hurt, you could bring up a Kyle Muller, a Mike Foltynewicz, a Sean Newcomb, or a Tuki Toussaint. Those guys are on the taxi squad, to my knowledge. So that is something to think about. If somebody does go down with an injury, that is something to think about. The catchers are, of course, Travis d'Arnaud and Tyler Flowers, but I think Travis d'Arnaud is going to see not just the majority of the time. I think he's going to see almost all of the time. Unless the Braves and the Dodgers go into late innings, I don't see Tyler Flowers coming in. I just don't see a point. Not when you got a guy like d'Arnaud who's performing so well at the plate. I just don't see it happening. Infielders, no real surprise there. Again, Charlie Culberson, Pablo Sandoval made the roster. And, of course, good to see Charlie. In a way, I always kind of hope Charlie does something because he's been a guy that's been so good to the Braves in terms of, he's a guy that works for cheap money in the grand scheme of things. And I really like Charlie. I think he's a fan favorite all the way around. Obviously, it'd be nice to see him take the field for something during this postseason. Hopefully, we'll see that in this series. No real surprises in the outfield. They're pretty much what we thought they would be. But I think it's going to be very interesting. I think this roster is a roster that can compete with anyone, including the Dodgers. The Dodgers are, of course, they're leaning the favorite, but all around national media, MLB Network, ESPN. The question has been, can this Braves team beat the Dodgers? And I think they can. I think they have to show up, obviously. It's going to be a tough challenge, but I think they can. I think we would be selling them short if we were to say that, it would be a huge feat. And it would be a huge feat, but it's an impossible task would not be the word I would use here. They are not – this is not David and Goliath. They have a slight advantage, but I don't think they have – a monstrous one. I really don't. They've been there before. That is an advantage. This is something that they're used to. And yeah, my dad's in the chat, Ronnie Redmond. The Dodgers have been the favorite for years and have nothing to show for it. That's very true. This Braves team has been on the rise for some years now, and I think they can compete with these Dodgers. I do. I think the Dodgers are kind of on the decline. I think they've been successful for so long that that I don't think that their talent is going to hold up for as long as the Braves are set to hold up. I don't. With that said, it's all going to come down to who shows up in a 7-game series, so it'll be fun to watch. So I'm going to hop into you guys' questions real quick. Again, tonight's game starts at 8:08, so make sure you tune in. But let's hop into you guys' questions, and I'll try to highlight as many of them as I can. Ryan Butts, go Braves. Yes, sir. What's up, TKD? Everyone like the stream. Yeah, listen to Stellar, like the stream. That helps me out a lot. That gets me out to new fans, new subscribers, and all that kind of thing. Really helps me out. So I do appreciate anyone that likes this video. It makes a difference, and I certainly notice it. Yo, what's up, Bash Brothers? What's up? Go Bravos. It's going pretty good, Ryan Butts. Fried gives us a chance. John Kruger, yeah, he does. But I think Ian Anderson gives us a chance. I think Kyle Wright gives us a chance. It is going to get a little bit dicey once we get to the Bryce Wilson and the Waskari Noahs of the staff or the bullpen game of the staff. We don't really know what's going to happen at that point. But I think they certainly give us a chance. I do. I think those first three, there were a lot of question marks going into the postseason with Max Fried and Kyle Wright. Obviously we wish Cole Hamels could have been here. We wish Felix Hernandez could have been here. We wish Sean Newcomb and Mike Foltynewicz could have been these two guys. Because to be honest with you, and obviously Mike Soroka, who's hurt, if we had Soroka, I would feel very confident going into this series, and I still feel confident. A lot of people are scared of the Dodgers. I think that's kind of the vibe I get. I'm not. I'm more excited for this series. I really think that this is a chance for the Braves to show how much they've grown, and I think they're going to. With that said, I think a lot of the growth has been very quick, and it's been this season. Ian Anderson is the guy who's grown into just being an absolute stud on the mound. He came in a stud, and he's had a lot of growth. Kyle Wright is the guy who's shown great development in the last few weeks of the regular season, throughout this postseason. Obviously, that one start he had the other day was fantastic. Hopefully, that will continue. If he's going to need a good start, it's going to be versus the Dodgers. The good thing is the Dodgers didn't get any time to rest, any more time to rest over the Braves. They're on the same playing field in that regard. With that said, there are a lot of question marks in the Dodgers pitching staff, most notably the ninth inning. They got to figure out what they're going to do with that. Kenley Jansen hasn't been the guy for them so far. They're going to have to make some adjustments. What will they do there? I'm sure Dave Roberts will come up with something. With that said, there are a lot of question marks with the Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw has looked good, but we know his history in the postseason has not been great. We know the Dodgers can get there, but we don't think they can get the job done. I don't think they can get the job done. I think whoever wins in the National League will ultimately win the World Series. I do. I think the National League has the toughest competition. I don't think the Rays are going to struggle with putting the Astros away. To tell you the truth, it might be a 6-game series, but I think ultimately it will go to the Rays. I think whoever wins between the Dodgers and the Braves will win the World Series. With that said, it is a tough task for either team. to beat the Dodgers or for the Dodgers to beat the Braves. It is a tough task. So we're going to have to wait and see. I'm excited for it. Of course, it's tonight, Game 2 tomorrow. I'll be at Game 3 in Texas. That is something I'm very excited for. I'm going to have a lot of content. I'm going to try to go live before that game from the stadium, at least for a short time, to kind of show you guys around, show you guys what's going on. But I'm very excited for it. So Free definitely gives us a chance. Ian Anderson definitely gives us a chance. Kyle Wright gives us a chance. I really think so. And who knows what Bryce Wilson's going to do, right? All right, so Braves, get ready to bring out the broom. Oh, are we predicting a sweep here? Because if we are, I am excited. If they sweep the Dodgers, I'll go all in. I'll say the Braves win a World Series if they do that. All right, let me see. The taxi squad is only allowed to be used for injuries, right? That is true, absolutely. Yeah, if somebody gets injured, they'll be pulled up. Dodgers are kind of overrated. I think so too, but not because of themselves. I think the national media has made the Dodgers to be that. Mookie Betts being on that team helps. Kershaw being on that team helps with that. But also the fact that they've gone to the World Series, like I don't even know what it is, but it feels like they're always in it every year. And they haven't been able to do much. I think, they were the favorite going into this season to win it. And that's kind of where people are with it. They are a tough team. Make no mistakes about it. They are a tough team to beat. But like lots of sports said, if the 2019 Nationals can do it, we can too. And I agree with that statement for sure. What are you looking forward to the most? I'm really looking forward to seeing this offense in the National League Championship Series open up, because in the first series versus the Reds, they were facing really good pitching, like probably some of the best pitching in Major League Baseball, and Trevor Bauer, and of course, the rest of that staff. It was just really good pitching. The offense didn't have much of a chance to open up and perform. In the second series versus the Marlins, we saw more of it. Dansby Swanson, Travis d'Arnaud, most notably. I want to see kind of more of that. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Walker Buehler versus Ronald Acuña, if because of the history, and things like that. I'm curious how Ian Anderson will do facing off against Clayton Kershaw, and how Kyle Wright will do in his Game 3 appearance. That's what I'm really curious about. But if I'm looking forward to something, I'm really looking forward to Walker Buehler, Ronald Acuña. I'd be lying to you if I told you I'm not looking forward to that. I was at the game where Acuña took Buehler deep. I was there, and it was a sight to see. Hopefully there'll be some more of that tonight. Of course, it could end with a strikeout, to start the game out. But I am curious to see how they're going to perform against each other. Of course, there's history there. I'm sure there's some animosity there to some degree. But Acuña has been the guy in the postseason. He's performed exceptionally well throughout every postseason he's been in for the past 3 years. So hopefully he will continue to have postseason moments tonight. All right, let's move on. Chop on, let's go, Braves, baby. I hear you, Tony Jewell. Are you watching the Rays and Astros? I watched it last night, and I'd be lying to you if I told you I wasn't pulling for the Rays. With everything going on with the Astros, I don't know that anybody outside of Houston really wants them to win. But I think the Rays are the best team in the American League. With that said, I think once you get to a World Series, anything can happen. And, I'm watching them for sure. But I want the Rays to win that series. So far, they're doing pretty good. They won Game 1, so that's important. Who do you think will start Game 4? Cameron McConnell asks. I think it'll be Bryce Wilson. I think after that, we'll have to figure out. Now, that depends on whether or not they go to Bryce Wilson before that, which I don't think with this bullpen they will. I don't think they'll need to. But I think Bryce Wilson will probably be the Game 4 starter. Game 5, more than likely, Huascar Ynoa. But once you hit that point, a lot of question marks start, because if Game 4, if Bryce Wilson doesn't go longer than 3 or 4 innings, then you might have to go to Ynoa first. And once you get to Game 5, Game 6, it wouldn't surprise me if we saw Max Fried come out on short rest. It really wouldn't. But we're going to have to see what happens. We got to get to Game 5, Game 6, right? So we'll see what happens once we get to that point. There are a lot of question marks once we get deep into the rotation, and that I agree with you. But if we can win early, anything can happen. I'm not watching the current game, but my dad actually just gave me an update. I appreciate that, Dad. Rays up 3-1, batting in the bottom of the 7th. That's what I thought. I really think that the Rays are the better team in the American League. I truly do. The Astros have impressed me. They broke my bracket. But I think the Rays are overall just the best team in the American League, and I don't think there's much debate about it personally. Who do you think is the most important player from each team this series? I think for the Braves, it's their overall starting pitching. I do. That's been the question mark all year long. It hasn't been a question mark this postseason. They've performed exceptionally well, but I think it's going to depend on what they do. If I had to pick one player offensively, I'm going to go with Freddie Freeman for the Braves. And if I had to pick one player for the Dodgers, I'm probably going to go Walker Buehler tonight. I think that both of these teams have to win game one. We haven't seen too much out of Freddie Freeman outside of that walk-off he hit versus the Reds. We haven't seen too much out of him. I would like to see him do some damage, and I think he will eventually. I think he will. So that's who I would pick for the Braves. If I had to pick one player, for the Dodgers, probably Mookie Betts, just because there's so much expectation for Mookie. But again, Freddie Freeman, Mookie offensively, and of course Max Fried and Walker Buehler starting out tonight. How do you think Fried will do? I think Fried will. I think Fried will do just fine. Last time he came out, he pitched 4 innings and then he was pulled kind of early. But I think he'll have his stuff. I think he'll do fine. I truly do. I think he goes 6 innings. Maybe not scoreless, but low scoring. That's where I'm leaning right now. I think Max Fried is the guy we have to count on. The guy that we have to count on to set the tone. And I think he's done that so far this postseason. I think he's done that all year long. And I think he'll be just fine. How long do you think they'll try to get Fried to go? 6 innings. If he's dealing, then maybe longer, but 6 innings. That's kind of where I see him going. Trying to make sure I'm not missing anybody. Let me see. Make that 4-1 Rays. All right, Rays, I hear you. All right. Sweep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Dodgers only playing the West gave them a get into postseason free card. Fair enough. Braves in 6. I like that. I don't mind that pick. We got to win game 1, though. I agree with Isaac right there. All right. Fried is my favorite Brave. Also, who do you think is going to be the MVP of game 1 and the MVP of series if Braves win? Travis d'Arnaud is the guy who I would pick for MVP of the last series. Obviously, he's a guy that was really just dealing. If I had to pick an MVP, Max Fried. I think he's the guy that if the Braves are going to win, it's going to be on the back of Max Fried. I really think so. Favorite Brave just in general, probably Ronald Acuña or Freddie Freeman. I think Riley is about to get red hot. He's a guy that can do it, and I hope that's the case. He's had some good at-bats. Hopefully, he'll get that postseason block out of him, and he'll just be able to start hitting bombs left and right because that's what I would personally like to see. They asked Dave Roberts who starts game 3, 4, and 5 for them, and he said, I have no idea. Yeah, that's about where the Dodgers pitching staff is right now. There is no starting pitcher for Kyle Wright to face off against. I looked that up earlier today. There is no one that he's facing off against yet. I have no clue either, frankly. It's a lot of question marks, but the Dodgers are good. They just are. I think the Braves overall have more excitement around them. I think, they weren't necessarily – they were expected to get this far, but they're not expected to beat the Dodgers. I think there's more of people talking about the potential of the Braves winning, and I think there's a lot of question marks around the Dodgers. So I think there's an upset alert, as a lot of people would say. I think there's an upset alert on the rise for the Braves to really take this series and head to the World Series. I think it'd be very exciting, and I think it would be the start of what the Braves could do for years to come. Rays up 4-1. I'm watching. Thank you for the updates. Let me know because I am not watching. So let me know. It looks like the Rays have it pretty much well in hand. Who is the X factor for the Dodgers? Go Braves. The X factor for the Dodgers, whatever their pitching staff winds up being, whoever they put in games 3, 4, possibly 5. That's what it's going to be. If I had to pick an X factor for the Dodgers, their offense is their offense. It's going to be what it's going to be. But that's who I would pick, would be whoever they put into those games, which we don't know who they're going to be yet. In a game 4, do you think they could go piggyback Wilson and Noah for 7 to 8 innings? Yeah, I don't see why not. That's kind of what I said a minute ago. I think they could. I think they could go bullpen game at that point. It wouldn't surprise me if they did that. I just wonder what you do in Game 5 at that point. That'd be my only concern. It ain't going to Game 6. Go Braves. So okay. Dark horse player for Braves. Riley, go crazy. I wouldn't be mad at Riley. I'm not mad at Riley. Travis d'Arnaud's a guy that shocked us all. So anything can happen in the postseason. Never forget that. Anything can happen. It wouldn't surprise me if Markakis was to go off with three or four doubles, through the series that really helped the Braves get on top. It wouldn't surprise me at all. So I would probably pick Riley. I like that pick. Following you from Tijuana. Man, I got a lot of overseas fans. I really like that. Tijuana, do you think this outfield gives more chance for Pache to play more innings? I think Pache's probably going to be brought in strictly for late inning defense. Because reason I say that, I would have liked to have seen him have a pinch hit at bat the other day when the Braves were up 7-0 versus the Marlins. I would have liked to have seen him have a pinch hit at bat just to give him a postseason at bat and really give him that experience. It didn't happen, but he is being brought in for late inning defense. He was brought in. He was the guy that caught the last ball in the Braves versus Marlins NLCS. So I think that's what he's doing. I personally would like to see more of him sprinkled here and there, but I don't think that's the case, unfortunately. We got to play ABC baseball, period. I agree with you. Freddie Freeman was asked how important defense is in these series, and he had a very interesting response. Freddie Freeman said that, it's not about if you can raise your talent level. It's about if you can raise your concentration. And that's completely true in this scenario. Postseason, everything is magnified. I've said that a lot on this channel. Everything is magnified. And what that means is if you don't perform the little things, it will get noticed. And the Braves have done an excellent job defensively. There have been a couple errors, but Ozzie Albies at second has had a lot of great plays. Riley's had a lot of great plays this postseason. Freddie Freeman had, if you didn't see it, a great diving play the other day. That is ABC baseball. Hits, driving runs in, ABC baseball. I completely agree with you there, Wayne. I completely agree with you. Final score tonight, I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair. If I had to make a guess, 4-2 Braves. If I had to make a guess, I'd say 4-2. I think it's going to be low-scoring, and once you get to the bullpen, I think the Dodgers will be shut down. I do. Evan Roden, Braves versus the Worlds. The experts have already written the Dodgers into the World Series. Of course they have. But they didn't predict the Braves to win the NLDS for the past 3 years either. So, to me, you can predict all you want. You can predict final scores. At the end of the day, they got to show up. And the experts can tell me how many experts predicted the Astros to go as far as they did. Tell me how many experts predicted the Braves to really go this far. Because if you don't remember, in that 3-game series versus the Reds, probably more experts were leaning towards the Reds with that pitching staff and all the question marks surrounding the Braves. So at the end of the day, it's going to be who shows up. And I think the Braves have the potential to do that. Thoughts on Jansen tonight? Yeah, there are a lot of question marks. I talked about it a minute ago, but I'll hit it real quick for you. A lot of question marks around Kenley Jansen there, Caleb. I think the Dodgers are probably going to make a move to go with someone else. He didn't have a great day the other night versus the Padres. He almost gave up a 3-run lead. And I don't think that they can trust him, ultimately. I don't think they can trust Kenley Jansen. So if it gets down to a ninth inning, 1-run game, and there's a man on second, you give up a leadoff hit, there's a 3-batter minimum. Do you really trust him out there? That's up to Dave Roberts. I think it wouldn't surprise me at all. It wouldn't surprise me at all. So I don't know. Do you think Kershaw will repeat his good performance against the Brewers, or will he choke like usual with the Braves? Not sure what you're asking there, but I assume you're asking, do you think Kershaw will repeat his good performance against the Braves, or will he choke like usual with the elite Braves offense? Kershaw is a guy who's just had a lot of bad luck in the postseason. And what I mean by bad luck, obviously he's had some bad performances, but remember, one of those bad performances was against the 2017 Astros. So to me, there's a big asterisk next to that one. I think that had that not happened, who knows who wins that World Series? Unfortunately, we'll never know. But Kershaw is a guy who could come in and have a clean 6 innings and have a great performance, or a guy that can come in and give up 4 runs in the 3rd inning. Who knows? That's up for debate. At the end of the day, we'll find out in about an hour and 15 minutes. I'm from the future. Game 1, Braves win 5-3. I like that. Thank you. Thank you for letting us know. I appreciate it. Game 1 is key. You're absolutely right there, Cameron. I've said that a lot. Ryan Spleen. Love the channel, bro. Keep it up. I like Braves in 6, but we got to win the first couple and keep the games tight until we can get to the bullpens. It's 2020. Anything can happen with the eyeball emoji. Thanks for the love for the channel. I appreciate it. A lot of you guys have shown your love with likes tonight, so make sure you keep doing that. It helps me out a lot. Keep supporting the channel. I work a lot on this channel, and we're going to do a lot of content. Of course, I'll be heading to Texas on Wednesday morning. I'll be hitting a vlog for you guys of some kind, whether it be once I get back here or maybe a couple live streams from the stadium itself. But I will try to get you as much content as I possibly can. I can't guarantee anything specifically, but I will try to keep you updated with everything I can do amidst that. So I appreciate the love. I like the Braves in 6 too, but I like them in 7 as well. I'd love them to win in 4, though. That would make my day. I do hope the Braves will win this because I cannot continue to watch the Falcons. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about them. People have been comparing Fried to Kershaw for a while. Will this series finally put Fried on that level in baseball's eyes? That is a great question. You know, I've compared Fried to Sandy Koufax, not in terms of eliteness level yet, just in terms of style. Kershaw's another guy a lot of people compare him to. I think Fried's already there, at least for this season. Maybe not at the elite level, the Hall of Fame caliber level as Kershaw, but I think Fried's at that talent level. Obviously, he's in the Cy Young conversation this year. Kershaw is not. So just keep that in mind. I think he's already kind of there. I don't know if he's elite yet. He's so young. You know, who knows? We've seen so many pitchers have a couple years of success. Fernando Valenzuela, Eric Gagne had a couple really good years, and then kind of fell off after a few. You know, who knows what he's going to be? It's a lot of expectation to throw on somebody. I think he could. I think it could be a step in his development for sure. I like that question, though. I don't mind that question at all. Do you see Braden Shoemaker staying with Camargo's role for 2021? Possibly. I don't know that Camargo's role is really there anymore. Personally, he's not got a spot at third unless Riley gets hurt. He does not have a spot at third. He doesn't have a spot in the infield. When Ozzie Albies came back, he was gone. So he doesn't have a spot in the infield. Doesn't have a spot in the outfield, and there's no pinch hitters anymore. So I don't know that Camargo's role is really there. And if it is, I think it belongs to Charlie Culberson, frankly. I think, you know, if the Braves could find Charlie some at-bats, they would do it, but there's not really any to be had right now. So I like the question. I just don't know if that role's there. Let me see. There's a lot of numbers here. Cameron McConnell, 4-1, 2 outs, top of the 8th. Correa's up with a man on first. Thank you. Appreciate it. Keep the updates coming. Let's just hope Correa doesn't do anything. He's kind of been not so friendly this year. Fried, no hitter. I like your head. I like your thoughts. Do you think we could see Tomlin or Matzik in Game 4 as an opener to go once through the lineup and then turn to the bullpen? Don't mind it at all. The only thing is with Tomlin scares me not because of his numbers. He's had great numbers this year, but he scares me because of his velocity. You know, he locates well. He's been great for the guys around him. He just something about 80 miles an hour over the middle of the plate. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. Matzik, I like him in the pen. Leave him in the pen. He's been so effective there. Leave him there. He's a guy that can go multiple innings late in games. I like him there. Tomlin, I don't mind it because we've experimented with it before this season and it's been mildly successful. I wouldn't mind it in a Game 5, not Game 4. I think Game 4 belongs to Bryce Wilson. Talking off season, since it is close, whether we win or lose, if the NL keeps the DH, do you re-sign Ozuna? Oh my goodness, y'all have asked me this question a lot, but I'll hit it real quick. I think Ozuna will be back if the Braves have anything to say about it. I think the Braves obviously have interest, whether he be an outfielder or whether he be a DH. I think they definitely have interest. I think the DH is possibly here to stay. And if that happens, I think it's almost a definite that the Braves will offer something. I don't know if they'll have the best offer, but I think they'll have a good offer. I've sort of gone back and forth on that, and I know some of you might have noticed that. I've gone back and forth. I think Ozuna would like to stay in Atlanta based on what I've seen this year. He turned down a deal with the Reds a multi-year, $50 million, I think, deal with the Reds to come to the Braves, and on a 1-year